So it seems to be two different things. It was Vatishoches and Vatimoli Yotzchomes. And the land became rife with thievery. Rashi, Vatishoches, Loshen Erva Vauduzora, Kmo Pentashchisun. The area of Ervo, the behavior in terms of depravity, they violated Avodah Zorah, Kishisko Kolbosar, Vatimoli Yotzchomos, Gezel. Stealing. Ve'ara Lukim Esoretz V'hini Nishchoso. Now, there's a principle known as Moli Sa'oso. There's Midas HaRachman, but when the measure becomes full, Hashem says, I've had enough. Right? It's Moli Sa'oso. So is the measure. If it's Moli Sa'oso, so they were doing evil for 10 generations. Right? Vayar Elokim Esoretz V'hini Nishchoso. Hashem saw the land was corrupted. What was the proof that they reached the maximum, the limit? Because even the unintelligible creatures, which naturally, instinctively, only mate with their own species, they started to mate with other species. So that was an indication that the whole mechanism of existence was totally corrupted. A person has Bechira. What about an animal that doesn't have Bechira? Or species don't have Bechira? So what did they become corrupted? The answer is the whole environment became so impure, so that was the confirmation. And the indication was the shchoso, because kihishus kolbosa is dark al oretz. Rashi, afilu behemo, chayev of niskochen l'shenim. They were procreating with not their own species, which normally it's not possible. Instinctively, an animal, a bird, or whatever, it's only with its own species. That's we discussed, mentioned yesterday. The Tevo, Gemara says, only admitted the pure species. No, it was pedigree. The pedigree had to be pure. Okay, so you sit down and we'll replay the tape. You'll hear it. Okay. Over here, the Balaturim says Chomos. The Kamachi is Mei Noach. Right. The floodwaters are called Mei Noach. So Chomos, what was the cause what ultimately brought the Mabul, which is the Mei Noach? It's the Chomos. We also say Chomos with Kamachi Gehenim. Okay. V'yomer Elokim leNoach, Kates kol bosa bo lefonai. Ki molo oretz chomos mitneim. Because the land is filled with chomos. You have to know what the word mitneim means. V'ini mashchisom es oretz. This is 120 years. Hashem is saying this to Noach 120 years before it actually happened. Because now he's instructing him to build a table. Correct? So over here, the Orach Chaim HaKadosh discusses why wasn't Noach mispal when he heard this, what was going to happen. He should have already mispal with Avraham Avinu was mispal, right? Should have asked Midas HaRachman. Why didn't they? Maybe he did. Okay. Factually, the Rabbeinu Bachil says he did, even though it doesn't discuss it in the Pasuk. I mean, from Avraham Avinu, the moment he was told that stone was going to be destroyed immediately, he speaks very strongly to Hashem. He pleads on the behalf. Maybe there's so many tzaddim, so on and so forth, till there's nothing to talk about. He pleaded his case, and the case was a baseless case. That's what Hashem told him. So why did Noach? So seemingly, Rabbeinu Bachia says it doesn't make a difference, even though the Torah doesn't say explicitly, he did. That's the Rabbeinu Bachia. The Orach Chaim HaKadosh says differently. Says that here Hashem is telling me I will destroy the world. There's nothing to talk about. It's fait accompli. It's finished. It's the pen, but if they do tshuva, I won't. Hashem is telling him what it's dependent upon. They do tshuva, I won't. If they don't, I will. By Avraham Avinu, he had no relevance to the whole discussion. Hashem, you want to go destroy Sodom, go destroy them. What are you coming in and sharing the information with me? Correct? So evidently, if you share the information with me, evidently I have something to say about it. Meaning that maybe I have to intervene on their behalf. Meaning to supplicate Hashem for Rachmim. That's how we differentiate the Orach Chaim HaKadosh over here. No, but couldn't process it that way. There's no opening. Here he's coming to tell him, I want you to build a table because I will destroy the world unless they do tshuva. That's it. Hashem set the setting. They do tshuva, the world can live. If not, they don't. That's the end of the story.
Why is that not an opening?
I'm telling you fact. Why am I telling you?
No, because if they do tshuva, it'll be good.
But that has nothing to do with you praying. There's nothing to pray for.
Can't you help them make do tshuva?
So good, that's the interaction. That's entering into dialogue with them. That's the whole idea of the teva, right? 120 years, you're going to be involved in the dialogue. They're going to come there and inquire what's going on, and you can interact with them.
That's his way of.
That's what I want. That's your responsibility. But he should pray. What does he have a right to pray? Hashem already said this is the way it is. It's a disrespect.
And stone, what's the difference in stone?
Stone, Avram had no relevance to stone. Hashem comes and says, by the way, you know what I'm doing tomorrow? So you want to do it, go do it. What are you sharing it with me? They weren't at his level. They weren't there. They weren't actually. We'll see. We'll discuss that. Actually, they weren't. When we say tzaddikim, they weren't tzaddikim enough. They weren't. We'll see Rashi. Yeah, we had and the wives. And even if Hashem would join, you only have 9. Right? That's where Avram. Why Avram stopped supplicating Hashem after when he realized there weren't 10? Because he learned from the Mabul. The reason why, because there were not 10 tzaddikim. If there would have been 10, the world would have been spared on their behalf. Evidently, when we say tzaddikim, it's relative to what the evil were. They weren't enough tzaddikim. I mean, they weren't sufficiently a tzaddik to be counted that it should make a difference.
This could be for your question. It seems to me that Abraham is more closed than Noah. Noah is saying that there is opening for tshuva.
More closed.
And Abraham is saying that Hashem is
No, two different things. Two different things.
So then why?
Hashem says to Noach, 120 years, if they don't do tshuva, I will destroy the world. Finished. So what is Hashem saying? I want you to interact with them. Do your best to get them to do tshuva. It's not he's more open. He's telling Hashem saying the fact. Sodom, I'm destroying. Tshuva is not a discussion any longer. What's tshuva? There's no tshuva tefillah. First, the praying on the behalf is not that he should do tshuva. Because that's not the tefillah. Avram prayed not that you should do tshuva, that you shouldn't destroy them. Avram didn't pray that Sodom should do tshuva. He prayed, don't destroy them. Here, we're not talking about, maybe he did pray that they should do tshuva. He prayed, Hashem give him the ability that he should be able to interact and press upon them. That he did. Question is, why did he pray they should not be destroyed as Avram prayed they should not be destroyed? The moment he heard that the world's going to be destroyed, he should have prayed immediately, don't destroy the world. As Avram prayed that the Sodom shouldn't be destroyed. Because Hashem says it's over. It's either A or B, and if it's not, there's no C. It would have been a disrespect. God says, this is what I want. There's no other way. As they say there's no wiggle room here. This was immediate. What he's talking, we're in the middle of a conversation. It's not, we'll continue in 3 weeks, the conversation. I'm going to destroy the world. By the way, 3 weeks down, by the way, build an ark. The world has reached a level of evil. No, wait a second. It doesn't. There's no moment. He immediately says, therefore, build an ark. Right away, what is it? Therefore, Asay Lo Tevas Gopher. Immediately. Immediately says, make the ark. Therefore, make an ark. There's no argument. He says, Avram, I will destroy the world. That's the end of the conversation. I will show some. That's the end of the conversation. Now Avram is responding. Because he said, yeah, to make the ark. That's what I'm telling to you.
So maybe if I would have been his father at that point, maybe I could have avoided the ark.
He says immediately, I will destroy the world, therefore make the ark. That's the discussion that I'm telling you. Why am I telling you to make the ark? Because I'm going to destroy the world if there is no ark. The ark is the focal point to give him the last chance to do tshuva.
So the ark is the way out.
That's the only way out. The only way out.
So tshuva is the teva.
Is the basis for the tshuva. The teva is the basis for the tshuva. It's Chazal. Chazal tell us this. Ramban speaks it. They all speak that. All the portion. Only 10 people had to be tzaddikim. I'm not sure. No, I'm not sure. Not sure. Not sure. Not sure. Not sure. Not sure. I'm not sure if 10 would have been enough then. This is like, like the Rambam says, the way he learns the Gemara. You have a Rosh Hashanah, there are 3 judgments. Tzaddikim, Rishoim, Beinanim. The Beinanim, what does the Rambam say? Im zochu lasos tshuva. Only if they do tshuva, then they're going to get a positive verdict on Yom Kippur. So they'll ask, do one extra mitzvah, right? Mm-hmm. If what Beini means you're exactly at the midpoint, do one mitzvah. You've already swayed it to the right, right? No, not qualitative. Not qualitative. Because once I give the ruling that you're a Beini, there's no throwing me a bone. Now either you do it right or it's over. You understand? If we would have had from the very start 10 tzaddikim, it wouldn't have been a problem. Whether they do tshuva or they don't, in their merit the world will be saved. But if you guys are bad guys, to reach such a level, either you all do it right or it's over. Or the majority have to do it right. 10 is not going to be enough. Not Nineveh. No, only Nineveh was going to be destroyed there. The whole world was. The whole Nineveh had to do tshuva. Or the majority of Nineveh had to do tshuva. The whole right, or the majority of the world would have to do tshuva here. Therefore. No, but here it's a disrespect. You have no right to open your mouth. If they understand, you have no right to say differently. Because Hashem says this is the way it is. Hanicholi. Hashem says, allow me to destroy them. That's the Gemara Brachos. What do you mean allow me? I have to allow you? You're God. You do what you want. What do you ask me? Allow me? So that was the opening for him to supplicate Hashem. It's a good question. It's a question, but it has an answer. That's on the personal level. That's the Gemara says by Chizkiyahu Melech. He told him, you're never coming out of your sick bed. Yeshai told him. So he says, Kach lo kublanim bebeis abo afil cherev chadam unachas latzavar al yisyayish min arachmi. You have a right to pray for yourself. Yeah, he was praying for himself. Person is definitely ill. He could have, somebody once said, one of the Gedolim, I don't know, dead, past 20 years, it says, Rapi Yurapi. Right? Yeshu Shus L'Rofi L'Rapos. Where do you have a right to meddle in God's business? Right? So Yaron says he has a right, doctor. What about if the doctor gives you, God forbid, says a death sentence? Right? Except when the doctor says no. It says the doctor's only position positive. To give you a negative, God runs the show. It's not the doctor running the show. Rapi Yurapi is only to intervene for positive. For negative, there's no the doctor doesn't play a role over there. Yeah, there's still Rachman, right? You go to Hashem to pray for yourself. To be continued. Later.
Moshe Rabbeinu argued for Klal Yisrael, he didn't want them to be destroyed. He potentially him an opening.
Yes, yes, yes. Hanichuli, allow me. Hashem says to Moshe, allow me. He said that's where it is. He said, allow me.
But so by both Abraham and Moshe, there was allow me.
No, by Avram, he didn't have to say allow me. By just informing him. Because he had no relevance to Sodom. What is he informing him for? Why are you telling me it has no relevance to me? Evidently it has relevance. What relevance does it have to me? To pray for them. That's the relevance. What? That was Chetri. After Chetri.
Didn't have relevance to him because he didn't live there?
No, it has no. What is Sodom? You know, there was a bust by a bunch of mafia guys, and they're going to put him on the electric chair. You're going to go plead. What do you have to do with the mafia? You have no relevance to them. What does Abram have to do with Sodom? Abram would be singing God's praises if Sodom was being destroyed. So what is Hashem?
Isn't it relevant to try to carve anybody in the world?
No.
The worst in Sodom?
They were gone. He wasn't involved with Sodom. He wasn't Makar of Sodom. And I was just thinking, because it's a little difficult. So what about in Meraglim? Hashem didn't give him an opening about Meraglim. Did not give Moshe an opening about Meraglim.
How so?
Did it say? Did it say, allow me to destroy them? Hashem says, I will destroy them. Right? So, you know what the answer is? Okay? That's Moshe Akel's answer. Okay? The answer is over there, because he didn't say. He said it's going to be a Chil Hashem. Because originally, one Parah wanted to let them out. He said, because you're going to be, I see in stars, you're going to be destroyed in the desert. So what are they going to say? God didn't have the ability to bring him in. So he was praying because of Chil Hashem. He wasn't praying, it was through that he was able to save them. But the approach wasn't, I'm going against your word. He said, Hashem, what about Chil Hashem? That's why he was permitted over there.